It is both a proper procedure to have the public, to have a public trial. It is also thereby a protection of the right of the defendant to have a public trial. It also, in my judgment, did and would improve the etiquette of the courtroom, the decorum of the courtroom, the behavior of the attorneys as well as the presiding judge. All of these things are good in my judgment, and we should have under proper restrictions so that it doesn't bother the jury, doesn't bother the defendant, doesn't bother the witnesses. The right of the public to see what's going on, and the right of the defendant to have a public trial. It is a feeling that the only proper way to report the proceedings of a trial is by the pencil, reporting through the newspaper. I agree, I find nothing wrong with that, provided it's done not editorializing, but factually. But the same things are true in writing an article. You can't write an entire article on everything that happens in the court trial. So the reporter naturally has to choose someone, what they write up and what they don't. You could get as equally fair and equitable portrayal of what goes on in the courthouse, probably better, if you had a camera there to show the public rather than just exactly what happened.
Various housekeeping details are being taken care of this summer in anticipation of the formal birth, September 1st, of the University of Texas at Dallas. That institution eventually will occupy this wheat field all the way from Campbell Road back to the present Southwest Center for Advanced Studies Founders Building. Today, Chancellor Harry Ransom of the UT system announced the appointment of Dr. Francis S. Johnson as acting president. Dr. Johnson has been on the SCAS staff since 1962. It also was announced that Gifford Johnson is stepping down as president of the Southwest Center to take a top position with the Dallas Corporation. So Dr. Francis Johnson will be interim president of SCAS until September, when he becomes acting president of UTD. The Deputy Chancellor, Charles LeMaitre, supplied some further prospects for the new UTD.
We don't anticipate any major changes in the faculty. The responsibility for the development of the program and for the recommendations as to additions to this faculty will emanate from the faculty through President Frank Johnson's office to my office in Austin.
The most activity here this fall will be continuation of postgraduate studies in cooperation with other universities. There may be one or two University of Texas at Dallas courses started this fall, but the most significant UTD activity will not start until September of 1970. By that time, there may even be some construction here on the campus. But don't look for a football team for many, many years to come. This is Roger McDonald, Channel 8 News.
I add to that, Chancellor Ransom, that in view of this event on September 1st, we think it's to our mutual advantage to ask
Now, it's entirely possible, I understand, that you have 4 programs in your welfare program, the one that's under attack, this aid for dependent children. You have 3 other programs, old age assistance and aid to the blind and so forth, that I understood some of the money could be transferred over, whereby the aid for dependent children